Hey everybody. All right, we just finished up a month here in Sayulita, Mexico. We've been here for the month of February, so the weather's been just beautiful. And we came from Puerto Vallarta, where we spent a month there. It was just a little over an hour drive. We used an Uber, very inexpensive to get here, made it quick and easy so we could pack all our bags and everything. I know that there's a bus that gets here, but I gotta tell you, the Uber was very easy to do.
Yeah. Yes. So Sayulita, we had never heard of it before we were planning this trip to Mexico. Turns out we've got friends and family that have. It is a small beach town. I looked it up. There's about 5,000 full-time residents, and then the rest are visitors, mostly Americans and Canadians. And when I mean beach town, like everybody is walking around all day long, day, night, in their bathing suits, in a cover-up. Everybody's in flip-flops, even though it's cobblestone streets here and very uneven sidewalks. But
Yeah, they're all driving around in golf carts, and the golf
cart.
carts all have surfboards attached to them. And scooters, motorcycles, they all have surfboards attached to them. So the majority of them do.
Yeah.
And so it is a fun atmosphere. Everybody's walking in the streets, and you got all the golf carts and the scooters and everything all just kind of weaving around
loud
each other.
music playing at a majority of the restaurants. And so there's a main square or plaza, and we're just a little bit off from that. I mean, kind of down the street from that. But even if you walked around, went to the main plaza, walked some of the side streets and everything, it's about a mile, maybe a mile and a half, all of it. So we kind of do that stuff every day. It's definitely known as a beach town. So beach surfers come here is what I mean. Surfers, people all over were using the word hippie.
Yeah.
So a lot of yoga on the beach, a lot of yoga classes. Maybe that's what people mean by hippie. And also, if you're into reality TV, Bachelor in Paradise was filmed at one of the hotels here. So that's one of their claim to fame also. Lots of restaurants, lots of art galleries. And when I say art galleries, I'm small little shops, but it seems like the people that are in these shops are the artists themselves, selling their things that they made. But then also really upscale women's boutiques, women's clothing store. I walked into
Yeah, it was really surprising how many of them. It wasn't just one or two, but there were a whole bunch of them.
Yes.
And yeah, they were definitely very high end.
I know. And they're all, even boutiques, all these stores are very, very small. But yeah, I looked at just a sundress and it was $100, which it just surprised me that it was that much money here. That's US dollars also. There are only small stores. There are no big grocery stores. You're not going to find a Safeway, a Walmart, anything like that. And they are all just little mom and pop markets, or the biggest one is like the size of a 7-Eleven. And it's got all the chips and cookies and junk you would get at a 7-Eleven, but you also can buy eggs, which you want to tell them how.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. I was surprised the first time that I went to go buy eggs. The person there asked me, well, how many? And then I said, oh, okay, well, a dozen. And then he put a dozen eggs in a bag. He was picking them out. So some of the stores did have in an actual egg carton container. But the majority of the stores that we went to, it was where you get just however many you want, and you just put them in a bag, and they're purchased
just a
that way.
regular
So
plastic bag, like
respect.
you would put your produce in, and you got to be careful when you're walking home.
Yeah,
but they
don't
all
break
have, loaves of bread. They have like boxes of cereal if you want that. Just a couple of brands, not a lot. Like I said, it's not a big grocery store. So that was a little bit unusual. Every Friday they have a farmer's market, so that was fun to go to that. Small, but they were selling fresh produce, and then people were barbecuing meat and everything, and then some arts and crafts there. And then every Sunday near the baseball field they have an open air market, is what they call, and that has also food, but it's got a lot of toys. That's where you can get all your souvenirs. And
Yeah, so it was definitely a very lively town. It was
Yes.
not a sleepy little beach town. It was definitely very lively, very walkable. So there was lots to see and do. People when we were in Puerto Vallarta were telling us, "Oh, we're crazy for coming here for a month." They were saying, "Oh, after 3 days, you'll have seen it all." And that might be true in the fact that, oh, okay, 3 days, you can walk all the streets, but the reality is because there's different events going on different dates and there's different things to do, really we never got bored the whole month that we were here. We had a wonderful time because it's definitely a very lively town, and at night there's all sorts of bars that are open with dancing and loud music and everything else like that, as well as the different events that were going on in the main plaza.
Yes, yes. And we did different things. I mean, we did a lot of activities. Some days we didn't. The Airbnb that we're in has a swimming pool on the rooftop, which is really nice. So there was some days where we just went and took our regular everyday walk around the town, and then we went swimming. I like to read, so I'm always reading a couple chapters of a book every day. But the activities that we did do, well, you want to talk about, we went on a couple of hikes, which were really nice.
Yeah. So just hiking around the area, we hiked over to the long way to get to it was a beach called Los Muertos, and that's simply Spanish for the dead beach. Well, it's because there's an actual beautiful
Yes.
graveyard that's right there
Cemetery.
next to the beach, and just beautiful in itself to look at. It's kind of a tucked away hidden little beach. And it's a great place to go to because the waves don't hit as hard there, and so the sand is really soft and walkable. You can walk a very long way out into the water. And of course the water's nice and warm, so it was a great one. We went to another beach that kind of walked kind of like a little jungle walk, but a really well maintained trail, so you're not going to get lost. Made it to another beach that same thing, just less populated because you actually got to walk to get there. I think we probably could have driven another direction to get there, but so that was nice. We also we started to walk, but then later I ended up mountain biking to it. Another beach, I don't even remember the name of that one, but again, more secluded, long beach. So you have options then as a result. You can either go to the little more crowded touristy beach with all the chairs and the drinks and the wait staff, and it's all coming to you right in the main part of town. But then out of town, you have these still all within walking distance, these other secluded beaches.
Not very far. I mean, I like walking. I like doing some hiking. If I can do it, you guys can do it. Well, you started talking about biking, which is Enrique's passion. So he did rent a bike the other day.
Yeah, so they do have mountain biking. So I did look it up online. Found some trails that were listed on All Trails. I looked it up there, and Trail Forks, and decided, okay, I'm going to rent one. It was a great bike, full suspension, nice bike. That was $45 for the day.
For the whole day,
And so rented the bike, and I did some awesome single track riding. I really enjoyed it. They even had a bunch of features and gaps and jumps on the trails as well. So it was nice.
Oh,
it was
you
nice
didn't tell
riding.
me about the jumps.
Yeah, they were good.
Thanks for telling me now. And then the other thing Enrique did, he told everybody he was going to surf because this is a surfing town, and he kept waffling. Should I do it? Should I not do it?
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I got to do it. I told everybody, and you did great.
Yeah, it was a lot
of fun.
Did
good.
So I did not expect to get up. I thought, I'm not going to be able to stand up. I would just, as best just be on my knees on the thing. But no, it was a private one-on-one, 2 hours for
Nice
$85. Wonderful guy.
Really good teacher.
And so, I was up on the board and actually surfing, and I loved it. It was so much fun. And the 2 hours went by super fast. So definitely want to do it again.
Okay.
And now that I feel, confident enough, I can get out there on my own and do some surfing. So
it was great.
It was a lot of fun.
I loved it too. I rented a lounge chair and an umbrella. I took video of Enrique, went in the water when I wanted to, came back and sat and relaxed and watched him. So yeah, it was a great surfing.
Well, obviously it was easy because then afterwards we saw a dog surfing too.
Oh, yeah.
This a
But
woman.
it was a great
had dog
surfing day
surfing.
for me also.
So I guess it's not that hard to do.
So some of the things that I did, which might be where the term hippie town comes in, is I took a class called breath work.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe. It was really interesting. It was something I'd never heard of. It was a 2-hour class, but it was in the evening and really nice a setting in this hotel, Hotel Los Sueños. I know I'm going to butcher.
Yeah, Los Sueños, yeah.
Butcher that word. Anyways, but they
dreams.
have yoga classes there every day. They got lots of stuff going on at this hotel. And it was kind of like indoor, outdoor, like there were no walls in this room. So it was really great. So I did something called breath work, which was interesting. And then I did a sound bath class, which was interesting too. That's all supposed to be meditation. You're just lying down on a yoga mat. So that was great also. And then I had a facial, so I really felt like I treated myself and got a handful of spas here, and this one was beautiful. I mean, it was really pretty inside, very clean, very nice. It was a wonderful, relaxing, great experience. What else did we do? Oh, we went on our day trip. You want to tell them about going to San Pancho?
Yeah, San Pancho just that was like a 10-minute little Uber drive over.
Yeah, really close. Yes.
Even smaller little beach town. But surprisingly, so there was less to see and do, but it was actually a lot, I don't know how to say it, like the road was paved more than cobblestones. It actually had walkable sidewalks. It wasn't the crazy sidewalks that you're going up and down and around things. So it was just a little bit more upscale in its feel.
Definitely the hotels from the outside, it was a lot more architectural,
Yeah, a couple of art galleries and
designs
such.
to them. The stores looked a little bit more upscale. We really just did window shopping. We didn't go in. Yeah, definitely. But the same type of stores, obviously souvenir shops, but boutiques, art galleries, but a lot more hotels, like small little boutique hotels, not a big Hyatt or a Marriott or anything. But all of it was just really pretty, colorful. We looked, we were checking the menus at a lot of restaurants. They were definitely on the higher end as far as price and steakhouses.
That was the night we ate on the beach. So it was, watched the beautiful sunset on the beach with a table on the beach.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Beautiful
so
place.
that was a really fun day to go over there. And a nice beach also. I mean, we just thought it was going to look exactly and feel exactly the same as Sayulita, and it wasn't. Oh, and they're having a music festival also that weekend. So it was just great. That, again, we're here in February, and that was in a big park and had a bunch of bands playing, and people brought their own chairs, and people were up dancing, and it was very lively, and just a really good time doing that. And then here for the month of February, there's actually a lot going on too. So the Carnival has been here for a week or maybe a little over a week. That's been on the baseball field, and just like a regular carnival or a fair that
like you might have a state fair or someplace.
Yeah,
it was
where they've got the rides for little kids, and then the Ferris wheels and stuff, and lots of junk food. Lots of booths where you can play games and everything. The music is blasting. And lights are going off and everything.
Some of the funny things were they had paintball guns. So I did that, shooting the paintball guns at real bottles. And so you're breaking real bottles,
glass
bottles with these paint gun, and also pellet guns and such. So that was maybe something that was a little bit different for us, but a lot of fun. And of course all the food vendors and everything else like that you might expect, but
yes, I mean,
a lot.
We had some churros.
A lot
we had
louder,
fried churros.
maybe,
it was loud. And then, elote.
Yeah, a lot of the corn.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
elote.
So that's corn on the cobs. It's like Mexican street corn. It's corn on the cob. They just slab mayonnaise
It's,
all
mayonnaise,
over it.
yeah, and then cream.
And then put some
Roll it in cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you didn't want the spicy
No,
hot sauce
no.
on it, but a lot of folks then
They
yeah,
keep
put
saying
hot
even the
sauce on it,
mild
so.
salsa and everything here is like burning up my mouth. So no for the chili powder. But so
Yeah.
we tried all that, and that's been going on the whole week. And
Oh, and then they had a bike race. I forgot to mention that when I was talking about
Tell me.
mountain biking and stuff. So they had an actual bike race. So this was all just predominantly, I would say 99% locals in the bike race. A lot of them were teams from local bike shops and
right.
even out of the area bike shops came. So very well attended, a lot of folks. They started off with the little kids division, which they called it was funny. It's called the diaper division, in Spanish. And so I was cracking up at the name. But the crazy thing about it for all the divisions was that the race started and ended in the sand. And so when you're biking in sand, in dry sand,
Yes, it was dry.
you're sinking in. And so especially with the poor little kids, they were sinking in. They couldn't get going at all. So finally, as the parents are encouraging them, is get off your bike and run. So they did that. The more advanced riders were able to do it a little bit better, but still, it involved a lot of just getting off the bike and running to start.
There were a bunch of adults. Yeah, you had a period where you were on the sand, and then you turned
and then
off
it turned
to
on
the
and went
beach
into the town. Yeah,
and went all through the town. They blocked off the main streets for the bike race, so that was nice.
Yeah, it was
because
a
there was no
10K
cars.
circuit, around town and in the outlying area, and then they had to do it multiple times. So it was definitely a legit race.
Yeah, everybody was
And,
standing. We were on the sidewalk cheering the bikers on. So, the Tour de Sayulita here. But that was a fun thing to go on. And then in February, it's also Flag Day. And Flag Day is a national holiday here. So, no mail, banks are closed. That was a big deal too.
Yeah.
They blocked off the streets early in the morning.
They spent a ton of money on it because there's a huge audio-visual setup with stage, so it was a big deal. They had a ton of horses came and were doing dancing horses that were all in costume and such, along with mariachi bands that were playing accompanied with the horses, and they were playing all day. I couldn't imagine
hours and hours.
how they
we
were
went
able
and
to do
saw
it.
them. We went and ate lunch. We came back.
They're
They were
still
still playing. Then we went home for a couple hours, and we came back out. And the horses and the mariachi,
still
same
dancing
band,
around,
was still out there. But they had closed down. This was all right near the central plaza in the middle of town. So it was great. I mean, it was again the same type of thing. Having any kind of celebration, it was very festive. Lots of people. You could just tell there was lots of people, either from a little bit out of town or that just don't come. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people all around. And everything for that. And so that was going on all day long. And there were tons more vendors just walking around trying, selling their souvenirs. And then in the evening, that's when
it was stage performance was going on. Yeah, it started off with these little kids, which were just a crack up, where there's about, 6 or 7 little kids that came out. Essentially, so they had music blaring.
Yes.
The kids were just air guitar. They had props, right? So they had a guitar. They're not playing the guitar, and they had an accordion going, and
doing this. But they did have 2 little boys that the microphone was almost as
working,
big as
and
their
so
whole
they did.
face.
Yeah. So they were actually singing.
And they were singing, and then they were dancing.
Yeah.
And
how old were they? They had to be, what, 5?
No, they were probably, I was going to say 7 or 8.
7 or 8? Okay.
Yeah. But they were young. And we had first heard the show was starting at 8 o'clock. Then we heard 9. But, we're in Mexico here in a beach town. So I think 9:30 these little boys came up. And they sang about at least 4 or 5 songs. It was fun. Everybody was cheering for them.
It was fun. It was exciting.
It was. There was a lot going on. Yes.
Yeah.
And lots of beer.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
all of a sudden,
tons of beer stands. So tons, several different beer vendors. They only have two different beers. They got Modelo, they got Corona Light, which is cracking me up. Is that all the different vendors had all the same thing, and every single little corner,
the
mini
plaza.
mart store,
Oh, yeah.
all had the same two beers. So it was either Corona Light or Modelo. That's your only choices. But they had so much of it. It was incredible. I didn't, was thinking, oh, there's no way we're just going to consume all that beer. But it was tons of it. So lots of fun, very lively. Went, way past our bedtime. 11:30, they were doing fireworks.
Oh, yeah.
The big ones,
Right,
the big
right.
fireworks right above the town there. Many other nights are doing fireworks above the, at the beach.
We hear them a lot.
There's a lot of fireworks going on. Yeah.
But we will be
this one was
honest,
over town.
we were already at home. We
Yeah.
weren't asleep, but we were at home. So we tried to run out our patio, but we couldn't.
You could see
we
it
couldn't see
kind
it,
of
but
over the tops of the
you could hear
rooftops, but
fireworks for
it
a
was fun.
long time. So that's all, that's just all been a bonus this month, that they've had all these holidays and celebrations and the bike race and, different things like that. That has made it very lively. And then, like we said, some days we're just going by the pool. We're just going out for a morning walk. And then, we're going out for dinner. And so we're going out for another evening walk. And we're walking the same streets again, but we always see something different, great for people watching, just sitting around,
So to wrap it up,
Yes.
it's a small little surfing town, but I got to tell you, there's a lot to do. There's a lot going on at all times. And so it's not a sleepy town. So,
No.
yeah, definitely highly recommended for folks to come out and plan on spending more time, not less here.
And one other thing, food. The food has been terrific.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we're eating out like almost every night for dinner, and lots of different food. I mean, really good Mexican food, of course, but we found a place that had Japanese food that was great, and ramen and noodles and stuff. Found a fantastic pizza place. There's a Mediterranean restaurant, Rubens, which we've been to a couple of times. That's like American sandwiches. I had a tuna melt and stuff, and so it's all been really good. And we can post all that. We'll post the surfing and the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes there.
Yeah.
Realize that it's a little too long to list out every place.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So we've had a good time, and come to Sayulita if you're thinking about coming to Mexico.
Yep. Off to Guadalajara next.